Welcome to LinguaWire English B1. Today, we have two stories: a Mars rover with a new distance record and a typhoon moving from Japan toward China. To help you follow today's episode, full transcripts and vocabulary lookups are available at LinguaWire.com. Mars rover breaks a distance record. Now we go to Grace, our LinguaWire correspondent for technology.
NASA's rover Perseverance is about to set a new Mars record. Next week, it may pass 45.16 kilometers or 28.06 miles. That would be the farthest any vehicle has driven on another world.
So this is not just a small update. It is a real milestone for the rover and for space travel more broadly.
Yes, and the striking part is how it got there. About 90% of Perseverance's driving has been autonomous, so the rover has often been driving itself.
Driving itself on Mars sounds almost unreal. How does that work in practice?
It uses cameras on board to look at the ground around it. Then a computer inside the rover processes those images and chooses the safest route across the surface.
So it is a kind of robot driver, but in a very dangerous place.
Exactly. Mars has hazards like large rocks and sandy slopes, so the rover needs to be careful. But it does not have to deal with traffic, road signs, or bad drivers.
That contrast is funny, but also telling. On Earth, we build roads for cars. On Mars, the rover has to make its own path.
That is one reason this record matters. It shows autonomous driving can become much more useful when computers are fast and smart enough.
And the older rover, Curiosity, did not get the same result.
Curiosity had similar imaging and software, but its computer was older. According to the report, only about 10% of its driving is autonomous because its processing is too slow.
So the technology itself was there, but the machine could not keep up.
Yes, and that explains the gap. Curiosity has travelled 38.6 kilometres in more than a decade on Mars. Perseverance has reached this record in about 1/3 of the time.
That is a strong sign of how quickly space technology is improving.
It is. It also shows a wider trend. Faster computers can change what machines can do on Earth and on other planets.
Typhoon Dolphin hits Okinawa and moves toward China. Now we go to Owen, our LinguaWire correspondent for news.
Typhoon Dolphin has hit Japan's Okinawa Island and cut power to at least 44,000 buildings. Officials also say at least 5 people were injured.
That is a serious hit, even before the storm reaches China.
Yes, the injuries were not life-threatening, but the winds were strong enough to make people fall. There were also reports of trees blown over in Nago City.
What else did the storm do on Okinawa?
Flights to and from Naha International Airport were canceled, and the airport was closed as the storm arrived. A car was also found overturned and leaking oil in a parking lot.
So everyday life was disrupted very quickly.
Very quickly, the Japan Meteorological Agency said the typhoon had maximum winds of 162 kilometers per hour. It described Dolphin as a very strong typhoon.
And now the storm is heading east from Japan.
It is expected to make landfall on China's eastern coast late on Sunday or early on Monday. In response, authorities in China have shut ports and schools ahead of the storm.
That shows how one storm can affect two countries in a very short time.
Yes, and the timing matters because this is part of typhoon season in the Western Pacific. That season usually runs from May to October, so people in the region know the risk is real.
What makes this year different?
Experts say this is a strong El Nino year, which can make storms more intense. The report also says about 3 typhoons usually hit Japan each year, though many more form in the region.
So people are not just watching one storm. They are watching the wider weather pattern behind it.
Exactly. That is why officials move early. They want less damage, safer travel, and time to prepare before the strongest winds arrive.
First, 3 words from the Mars story. Autonomous. This means able to work or move by itself. In the story, Perseverance was described as autonomous when it drove itself on Mars. Example: the bus is autonomous and can move without a driver. Hazard. This means something that can cause danger or trouble. In the story, Mars had hazards like rocks and sandy slopes. Example: broken glass on the floor is a hazard. Processing. This means dealing with information, especially in a computer. In the story, the rover's computer was processing images to choose a safe route. Example: the phone is processing the photo now. Now, 1 grammar point, be expected to. We use be expected to when we think something will happen, but it is not certain. Example 1. Perseverance is expected to pass 45.16 kilometers next week. Example 2. Dolphin is expected to make landfall on China's eastern coast late on Sunday. Repeat after me: is expected to pass. If LinguaWire is helping you, the kindest thing you can do to support our growing team and language learning program is leave a rating wherever you're listening. It's how other learners find the show. And if something could be better, tell us through the feedback form at linguawire.com.